Okay, so you might be able to hear something that sounds like a carnival going on in the background. I honestly have no clue what it is because there's not a carnival nearby in central Tokyo, at least the area that I'm in. If you can't hear it, awesome, maybe I'm just hearing stuff. So I'll attach another video to this, but basically the inflamed bicep tendon I have in my shoulder that had gotten worse, I did a previous video on a couple months ago. I was kind of able to maintain it and then reduce some of the symptoms, but it has kind of stayed at that rate and not necessarily gotten better, and even gotten slightly worse. It's kind of hard just being very active, holding things, even something like shopping, an umbrella or a phone. So I have decided that I will take at least 2 weeks, like kind of more of like an active recovery phase, specifically on my upper body. So that will probably include also doing some stability exercises, at least for the first part of it, just because those do still aggravate my shoulder post exercise. I find throughout the day that I do the upper body, you might say rehab work, that my shoulder does feel like it flares up more. So this will be a time where I will start shrinking by the minute. Hopefully in not every area, but it is winter also, so we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, I will be quite honest, I am unsure of how I feel about this. Also, being someone that loves going to the gym, 6 days a week from a mental aspect, I will find other ways that I can exercise other parts of my body that don't really require me to hold a lot of weight through my hands. I still plan on doing, some type of core or ab exercises on the days that I would traditionally do upper body training, and just kind of split my sets accordingly so the total volume isn't too much. What that currently looks like and seems to be acceptable for my tolerance, and someone actually messaged me and asked me this, is decline sit-ups I do for 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions each set. I do a back extension, and that is also for 3 sets between 10 and 20 repetitions, just depending on how quick I fatigue out. It's a newer exercise in general that I've been doing, so on the latter sets I do sometimes fatigue out a bit quicker. And then on that same back extension machine, which I've posted some shorts on in the past, I will be doing an oblique crunch, and that is for 10 to 14 repetitions each side, trying to build up those other ones closer to 20 reps, and we'll see how we go. So it's just finding ways around those where I can obviously load it. Firstly, for me, what feels safe, but secondly, obviously doesn't aggravate my shoulder. So for example, for the sit-up, I can just rest a weight on my chest. Doing the back extension, I have been finding it quite easy to load it, just holding a dumbbell plate on the back top of my upper traps like this, because my hands are there just basically making sure the weight doesn't shift forward. I'm not physically holding or overtly grasping it using my biceps especially. And then for the oblique crunch, I'm only at the stage where I can use my body weight for the movement, and if I want to make it harder, I can just move my hands up higher. Again, in another video we talked about having more mass kind of further away from the center of gravity does make it harder. I also have noticed the last kind of week, as I've reduced my intensity of the training, and I've actually also reduced my step count. My appetite has gone down, so by default I will probably start losing weight as it is. Before I was trying to hit basically 4,000 calories every day, or as close to as I can, and again, some days might have been higher, some days might have been lower, but the general average was around that. A lot of emphasis on lean protein. Now the last kind of 3, 4, 5 days, my calorie intake has been basically under 3,000. My step count has been between 10 and 20,000, not 20,000 plus. And my exercise program has changed quite a lot. As I was saying, I've greatly basically reduced the amount of upper work I do. It was only some stability work and some lower trap engagement. My core work was the same. and my lower body works the same. So we'll just see how we go throughout this process. As I said, I'm quite nervous because I take a lot of pride in my training and I thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, and we'll see how we go. As my calories decrease and potentially certain cravings come in. Again, I've mentioned this in a past video, but a few things I'll really try and keep in the back of my mind is making sure I have breakfast, and with breakfast there is protein included. So for me currently, I'm really enjoying having quite a lot of tofu. I know that's not necessarily the highest protein meal, but I quite like getting some soft tofu and kind of mashing it with some cabbage and natto, and almost has a similar consistency to what I think would be like a tuna mayo. I could be totally wrong, and that could be totally gross for a lot of people, and that's totally fine. Other forms of protein I've been really looking at and thoroughly enjoying just in general, especially in the States, is Greek yogurt. So in Japan here, I found a quite good yogurt with basically 0 to no fat and a decent amount of protein per serving, so I can eat quite a lot of that. In America, I'm a huge fan of Chobani yogurt. My friend that I live with there knows that like I'm a fucking fiend with it, and it's disgusting because I can eat like 6 tubs, and these are like the 900 gram tubs. Their 0 fat yogurt is like awesome, really high in protein. I love the taste, even just with some fruit or by itself. The consistency and texture I really like, but also I'm an odd person when it comes to food because I have quite bland taste. I generally just like a lot of volume. So the challenge is obviously that my calories are probably going to go down. I'm going to have some periods where I'm going to be quite hungry, even though I'm not, I should say, consciously trying to lose weight. It just happens by default. Because my exercise threshold was so high before, I think sometimes my body's going to kind of try and rebound back. So we'll see how we go. And that is enough spillage from me. And until next time, ciao for now.